some things to me are meant to be forgotten. Not everything is meant to be documented and posted over Facebook, posted over Instagram, placed on TikTok, and that we've placed these kids under a microscope, and it's almost like the Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show. Right. These kids are participating in a Truman Show, and we wonder why Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka cracked. They've been living a Truman Show since age 5 or 6.
Exactly right. And there's, like I said, there's no chance to learn how to cope with things. There's no chance, Tiger Woods, I mean, everything in his life was handed to him other than how to play golf. And that was what his focus was his entire childhood, golf. And yeah, he turned out to be a great golfer. And I think a lot of parents today look at Earl Woods or look at Richard Williams, Venus and Serena's dad, and say, wow, look at that. They grew their kids into millionaire athletes. Let's do that. And the Williams sisters did come out very well, actually. But look what happened with Tiger. I mean, look, he didn't know how to deal with his life at all. He didn't know what he was doing, how to cope with being married. He didn't know how to cope with having women all over him. He didn't know how to cope at all. There was no normal childhood. And then from there, there's no normal adulthood. And you're right. You have to be able to stumble and fall and hit your head without the whole world seeing it and making fun of you for it every minute of the day, because then you start acting tense and tight, and you can't behave freely and really learn how to cope with your life.
I'm going to disagree with you a bit on, I think Venus Williams has turned out great. I think Serena's a nut job. But that's just my opinion. We don't have to debate that. What I do want to debate you on a little bit, or I want to throw back in your court, you mentioned Richard Williams, you mentioned Earl Woods. Let's not forget, though, just a week or two ago, you were celebrating LeVar Ball and perhaps his arrival in Chicago, and you've been a bit of a defender of LeVar Ball. And look, I think it's great that he's got 3 sons in the NBA, and I think a lot of people think, well, look at that. He's got 3 sons in the NBA. This has worked out perfectly. Who knows how it's going to work out? I mean, because Earl Woods, for how long, looked like the greatest dad in the history of the planet, and Tiger looked like, oh my God, he'd slayed the world. And then we found out what was really going on behind the scenes, and Tiger wasn't happy. All these people, it's like, that's one of the things that has baffled me about LeBron James is he seems to love the spotlight, love the attention. Anywhere he goes, he does things to make sure there's focus and attention on him. And then he's thrown his kids into that spotlight. And maybe I'm just different, but I don't really love the spotlight. And that sounds crazy. I'm hosting a show, and I've been on TV and in the media and been a public figure for a long time. But I don't think fame is actually a good thing. You hear me say it on this show. I've written about it. I think fame is the worst drug on the planet. I think it's more intoxicating and corrosive than any other drug. The burden of being famous and the burden of people watching your every step and placing an importance on your every step, I think it leads to the kind of burnout that you're talking about, Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka, and the path we're leading these little baseball kids down.